I want to start this video with a recollection of some of the topics that you guys have seen in the previous videos that I recorded yesterday. And in terms of the classification of lipids, we said you guys have access. This is taken from my PowerPoints that I have posted for you guys. And we have said first that they are either hydrolyzable lipids or non-hydrolyzable lipids. And in this case, if they are hydrolyzable, you will find ester bonds or amide bonds. And we classify them as being the simple lipids that are found in oils and fats, or those that are waxes, like for protection of fruits or leaves, and then those that are part of the membranes. Those are all hydrolyzable because they will have either an ester bond or they will have an amide bond. So we have sphingophospholipid and sphingoglycolipids and then glycerophospholipids. We also discussed what was that we call simple lipids as fatty acids, and I would just want to emphasize the nomenclature. If we said 18,1-cis delta 11 is saying where is the position of the double bond, and it's a cis and it's on carbon number 11. And also we discussed the saponification of the lipids, and that has to do with the basic hydrolysis of the triesters of glycerols. This hydrolysis can take place using an acid or a base. If it's using a base, it's what we call saponification. But the hydrolysis also takes place in our systems by the use of enzymes. If we use an enzyme, then we will have the hydrolysis of the triesters by enzymes called lipases. Now, we're going to discuss that later on when we go to metabolism. One more thing that was important for me to address is when we look at the fluidity of membranes, that's going to come important. If we have straight chain fatty acids as part of the triglycerides, that will be stacking with one another, very little opportunity for digestion. That is going to accumulate in the blood. And if we have cis double bond, those are the good fats, the cis double bond, because introduces some kinks. And I asked you guys to see that picture from a textbook that I have right next to me when we were discussing that. Also, we discussed what was that called the omega fatty acids, and that has to do with the cis double bond coming from the last carbon, from the very last carbon. We also talk about having waxes, and if we see waxes, in a wax, you will have a long hydrocarbon chain alcohol that has reacted with the long hydrocarbon chain fatty acid. And then when it comes to the compound lipids, we will have a hydrophilic part that we call a phosphate and an amino alcohol, or a saccharide or a sugar. If it's coming from the backbone of glycerol, we will have 2 fatty acids. If it's coming from the backbone of sphingosine, then we will have 1 fatty acid. One more thing that I want to show you is how a membrane is going to look like. And for that, we say that in a membrane, we will have phospholipids with the saccharide part, with the sugar parts facing on the extracellular side, and then we will have the phospholipids will be facing to the inner part of the membrane. We will also observe the participation of cholesterol units, integral proteins, and peripheral proteins.